my name is Kathleen Kirby and I work for the beta program in the Language Assistance Department. So just as we get started, I want to let you know that all of this information is based on what we've had this year, okay? So lots of times information will change, and if that happens, we'll let you know. But we'll do the best that we can to give you the information that we have from all the information that we have from this year, okay? So all of these things could change, but in general, most of the information is gonna stay the same and will likely continue to be the same as last year, okay? So please be sure to watch all of the videos. They're gonna be very helpful in giving you lots of information. Be sure to watch them before you have the interview, because there's lots of information that you might have that will answer lots of questions that you could have. And also by watching them, you also may realize that you have some other questions of things that you didn't realize would be a part of the program, a part of the role as a language assistant, etc. So be sure to watch this video in its entirety, as well as all of the other videos. Okay, so before your interview, really important is that you read all of the questions in the attachment. If you didn't get an attachment, be sure to send us an email to let us know that you didn't get the attachment. But you should have received an attachment that has questions about different scenarios and different things about the role of the language assistant. So please look at all of the questions, but prepare one of them, okay? What does a good answer look like? For us, a great answer is someone who's answered the question with specific examples. If there's something you're not sure about, you can say, I wouldn't know what to do in this exact position, that's fine. But if you don't know, then elaborate on the parts that you do know, okay? Make that as clear and as obvious and fun for us as you want us to see, okay? So the more we can see of your personality, what you would be like really as a language assistant, that's gonna be the best kind of answer that we can get, okay? So be sure to look at those. Also, most people will be having their interviews on Skype. If you're already in Madrid for another program, or you happen to be here when you have your interview, then you would be here for an in-person group interview. Okay, so be sure to check out what the address is, and be sure all the same things apply. Be sure to watch all the videos. Be sure to look at the questions. But everything else will be on Skype, okay? So if you're having a Skype interview, really important, please be sure to look us up before the interview and add us on Skype. It's a lot easier for you guys to do that for us than the other way around. As you can imagine, we have a very small team and quite a few hundreds and hundreds and thousands of people to interview, so please be sure to look us up, get that sorted out right before the interview, so that way when it's time for the interview, we know that you're there and we can just put you in and you've already been in contact with us. Okay, really important. We also don't have a ton of flexibility with the interview times because, like I said, there's lots of few of us, and so if you can't make it to the interview, let us know, so that way we're not there waiting for you in that allotted time. But do understand that we'll try to reschedule if we can. We'll likely say get in contact with us at this date, which is when we'll be sending out another block of interviews. Okay. That's no problem, you wouldn't be penalized, but please be sure to let us know ahead of time. If we can reschedule, we will, and if we can't, unfortunately, like I said, we just don't have a ton of flexibility, and there's quite a few applications that we receive each year. Okay, in the interview, really important is to talk about the questions that you would have received ahead of time. If you have any other questions, this is the time to ask. Also know that you can always get in contact with us. If you forget after the interview that I have this question I wanted to ask, feel free to send us an email, no problem. We're happy to get to those. But the interview, really just be sure that you're showing us who you are and you're looking at that you've read the questions, that you've seen the videos. For us, that's going to be the sign of someone who's followed instructions, who knows what they're getting into. So that's going to be great for you. Really important to mention in your interview, besides the questions, is if you're applying with another person. Okay, so if you're applying with another person, a partner, a friend, a family member, please let us know. If that is the case, we would only assign you to Madrid. Okay, we don't assign people who are applying in pairs or groups to positions that we have outside of Madrid. The main reason behind that is because we have limited positions outside Madrid. It would be very difficult to first of all, get two people assigned at the same time to a place outside Madrid. But if there were any reason for one of you to leave, then we'd be losing two people in that location as opposed to one. And it's already difficult for us to, during the year, to cover a position outside of Madrid as we are based in Madrid. And so that to have to cover 2 or 3 is really tricky for us. So we would, if you are applying with someone else, we're happy. That's for us is great. Lots of times we have really happy assistants who do that. They get lots of support because they have that support network kind of built in right as they come. But know that you would be placed in the Comunidad de Madrid. Okay, we would not place you in the same school though. Okay, just to keep that in mind. Please also let us know of your location preference, your age group preference, and the other preferences that we are thinking about as we assign positions are the number of hours. For first years, we don't take that into consideration. We do take that consideration for those of you who would continue on after 1 year. The placements are between 18 and 24 hours. Okay, so you don't need to tell us about your hour placements. We assume that you will want 24 hours unless you tell us otherwise. If you prefer to have a lower number of hours, that's fine, you can let us know. Otherwise, we assume you would want more hours as opposed to less. And like I said, that isn't something that we otherwise would take into account for first years. What we do take into account is your age group preference and your location preferences. If you are open to other locations and other age groups, please let us know. So for example, if you just put in your application, Murcia, I only want to be placed in Murcia, but you get to the interview and you realize, okay, I really want to be placed in Murcia, but I really would be open to any other place. Please let us know. That's something that we can make a note of. Like I said, we have tons and tons of applicants. The more flexible you are with your placement, the easier it is for us to be able to find a placement that would match you. So if you're open to other placements, be sure to let us know. If you're open to other placements but have preferences of other places, so for example, if you would prefer a smaller town because you want to come here and really improve your language skills, okay, great, that's fine. Let us know. If you prefer to be placed only in a city or only in the north or only in the south, but other than that you're open, also let us know. We can make notes of those things. Okay, age group. Please let us know what your preferred age group is. If you don't give us any other information in the interview, we will just go by what we have in the platform. Also, unless you tell us otherwise, we will assume that you would be willing to work with other age groups. So if you've just said primary, if we had a position that had primary and infants, we would still be able to offer you that position. Okay, so if you have if you said all ages, then obviously you would have a lot more possibilities. If you're open to working, you've just said primary and you'd like to be placed in a school that you'd be open to be placed in a school that had primary and secondary, but you don't want infants, let us know. I'm open to other age groups, just not infants, or the other way around. I'm open to infants, but not secondary. Okay, so give us as much information about that as you can in the interview, because that's really your chance for us to see what it is that you want. We'll make notes of that. We'll update your profile. That's totally fine. But it's a lot trickier once we get to the part of sending placements to go back and add that. Okay, so do be sure to mention all of those things in the interview. Okay, once you've had the interview, great. That's awesome. We'll have lots and lots of placements. We won't even really know what placements we'll have available until later on in the year. Once we get those placements from the schools will send that to us between February and March. Some will even send them to us later in April, or in some even after that. So that's a main reason why we won't be able to give a very definitive answer until much later. Once we get to that point, we will be sending out placements. But before then, because we know it's a long time, some of you will have your interview as early as December or January, we will be sending in monthly checking-in emails, okay? So we'll see, hey, are you still interested? And then you don't need to get anything complicated, just, yep, still interested, totally fine, great. We'll keep you on that list, okay? If you're not interested, that's also fine too. Let us know and we'll take you off the list, okay? The main reason behind that idea is because when it comes to sending out placements, the time aspect of it is very critical, okay? So we don't want to be sending placements to people who are no longer interested, which is totally fine. Does not mean you can't apply in the future, totally great. Great. Just let us know as soon as you can about if you're not interested, that's great. Once we send out those monthly checking in emails, be sure to get back to us as soon as possible. That will kind of help us keep a healthy list of people who we know are still interested. Also, they're sent out monthly, but not based on when your interview was. They're sent out to all of the people, okay? So it's possible that you have your interview and the next day you receive, are you still interested? And you'll say, of course I'm still interested. I just had my interview yesterday. And it's also possible that you have your interview and maybe we had sent it out that morning and you won't get it for another month. But if a long amount of time goes by and you haven't received them, please be sure to check in with us and say, hey, haven't gotten a checking in email, let us know so that way we can make sure that there's not any issue in your list or that you're not receiving your emails to the spam folder or something like that, okay? So look out for those. We will start to send out placements between May and July, probably mid to end of May, all the way up through July, okay? So if you haven't heard from us before then, don't panic, don't worry. It's a very long process because we have to give people a couple of days to make their decision and then send us all the important information before we can offer that position to anybody else or not, okay? So look out for the placements will be sent between May and July. Okay, great. In the placement, when you receive a placement, it will include the school's name, the location, the age groups, and the number of hours, okay? Like I said, all of this information is dictated by the school. So if we sent you a placement, that's because that's what we have available for you. So the number of hours, we can't say, oh, this is the perfect placement, but I want it to be less hours or more hours.